The ship drifted silently through the dark space. Stars flickered outside the thick glass of the command deck. Maya Patel stood still, staring into the void. Her eyes caught every flicker of light, sharp and steady. She felt the weight of the moment. Around her, the ship hummed quietly, a steady pulse beneath the silence. Suddenly, the hatch hissed open. Thrakgul, the alien commander, stepped in. His eyes glinted with a strange intensity. They were sharp, like a predator's, but held a deep curiosity. Maya watched him carefully. The Thrakari had never looked at her like this before. Meanwhile, Gromnok, the alien scientist, joined them. His eyes held a softer light, more thoughtful. He glanced at Maya, then at Thrakgul. "It is unusual," he said in a low voice. "They look at you differently, like they see something familiar." Maya blinked, puzzled. She felt a thrill of unease. Why would apex predators in the galaxy see her that way? Her heart beat a little faster. She studied her own reflection in the glass. Her eyes were brown, warm, full of life. Nothing special, she told herself. Outside, the stars grew brighter as the ship moved closer to the Thrakari home world. The planet hung below them, a swirl of blue and green. The air inside the ship smelled faintly of metal and recycled oxygen. Maya's senses sharpened. She felt both foreign and strangely at home. Marcus Pike, her soldier, leaned against the wall nearby. He watched the aliens with cautious eyes. Marcus was tough, trained for combat, but even he seemed unsettled. The Thrakari were fierce hunters, after all. But something about their gaze made Maya wonder. A sudden flicker of movement caught Maya's eye. Outside the window, a pack of Thrakari ships slipped through the darkness. Their sleek shapes cut through space like shadows. The Thrakari were supreme hunters, apex predators of their star system. They ruled their skies with silent power. Maya felt the tension rise. The Thrakari commanders shared a look. Thrakgul's jaw twitched as he stared at her. Gromnok tapped a few commands on his wristboard. "One need to understand this connection," Gromnok said. "The way they see you, it is not just curiosity. There is recognition." She swallowed hard. The thought unsettled her more than she wanted to admit. Recognition from a species that lived to hunt was not a small thing. It meant something deeper, something buried in instincts older than stars. The ship's lights dimmed softly. Maya closed her eyes for a moment. She pictured the last battle with the Thrakari. Their eyes had locked then, too. It had been fierce, brutal. Yet now, here in the quiet dark, those same eyes searched hers with something like wonder. Suddenly, the silence broke with a soft beep. The ship's sensors picked up movement on the planet below. Thrakgul's eyes narrowed. "They wait?" he said. "But not to kill." Maya's breath caught. Could the apex predators see her as more than prey? Outside, the stars held their secrets. Inside, Maya felt the weight of something new. A strange bond, written in the depths of their eyes. In that moment, she realized the galaxy was bigger than war or fear. It was full of mysteries, waiting to be understood. The ship moved deeper into the unknown. The eyes that watched her spoke a silent language. They judged, yes, but they also recognized. And Maya Patel, human commander, was at the center of it all. The dim light of the research lab flickered softly overhead. Maya stood close to the observation window. Outside, the massive Thrakari beast paced slowly in its enclosure. Its dark, scaled skin shimmered faintly. The air smelled sharp. Metal and ozone mixed with the scent of alien flora. Maya's eyes locked on the creatures. They were deep and fierce, filled with ancient strength. Yet, something strange stirred inside her chest. The beast's gaze seemed familiar, almost like it saw her as more than just another human. Meanwhile, Gromnok adjusted the sensors beside her. The humming machines tracked the Thrakari's vital signs. The scientist's many eyes blinked in anticipation. He had studied apex predators for decades. But this was different. The readings hinted at something new. The beast stopped moving. Its head tilted slightly. The sharp claws scraped the ground. Then, slowly, it looked directly at Maya again. The moment stretched long and still. Maya could hear her own heartbeat pounding. Suddenly, the Thrakari's eyes glistened with moisture. A single drop slipped down its cheek, like scales. It was impossible to miss. The thought shook her. Gromnok's antenna twitched rapidly. He tapped the screen in disbelief. This never happened before, he muttered. Maya felt her throat tighten. She tried to hold back her own tears. The creature blinked once more. Then it let out a low, mournful growl. The sound was haunting. It echoed through the cold metal walls. The growl seemed full of sadness. Nearby, Thrakgul paced nervously. The alien commander's usual stern face showed a flicker of confusion. He had known these beasts as ruthless killers. To see one cry was unsettling. Maya studied the Thrakari's face. The wetness in its eye mirrored a human sorrow. It was the first time she saw how close their feelings might be. The predator's grief felt real. Slowly, Maya stepped forward. She spoke softly. "It's okay," she whispered. Her voice was calm, steady. The room grew quiet except for the beast's soft breathing. The Thrakari lowered its massive head. Its eyes remained locked on hers. For a moment, two species connected without words. Maya felt a strange warmth spread inside her. Meanwhile, Marcus Pike stood just behind her. He kept his hand near his weapon. Yet, even he seemed moved by the scene. The hardened soldier rarely showed emotion. Now, his jaw loosened in surprise. The lab's glass panel reflected Maya's face. In her eyes, Marcus saw something he never expected. Hope. Maybe these monsters weren't so different after all. Gromnok pulled up old scans from other apex predators. He compared them with the current data. Time after time, he found similar signs, subtle tears, brief moments of vulnerability. The scientist's mind raced. What if the tears were not just rare accidents? Perhaps they were a hidden truth, something buried deep in predator biology and spirit. Outside the ship's hull, stars twinkled cold and distant. Maya raised her gaze to the vast darkness. The galaxy's silence felt less lonely now. She thought about the predators she had faced so far. Each had eyes that held stories, pain, loss, longing. Were these tears the proof of shared emotions? Did apex predators see a reflection of themselves in humans? Maya's thoughts drifted to her crew, to every life she had sworn to protect. Maybe their mission was more than survival. Maybe it was a bridge. Suddenly, the Thrakari let out a deep, steady breath. Droplets glistened in the harsh light. The tension melted away. Maya noticed the creature's gaze soften. The vicious edge faded. For the first time, she saw kindness in those fierce eyes. The room remained still. Even Thrakgul stopped pacing. The alien commander's sharp gaze held a new question. What did this mean for their war? The silence stretched. Then Maya took a step back. She felt tears prick her own eyes. She blinked hard and smiled faintly. The predator was not just a beast. It was something more. Gromnok's voice broke the quiet. "There's a connection," he said slowly. "Something ancient and shared." Maya nodded. She looked again at the Thrakari. "We're not enemies," she thought. "At least not all the time." Outside, the night deepened. The stars blinked in quiet witness. The cold expanse held secrets yet to be told. Back in the lab, the machine screens glowed softly. They captured every heartbeat, every tear, every moment of a story just beginning. Maya felt a new mission forming inside, to see the predator not just as a foe, but as a mirror. The weight of command pressed on her shoulders. But now hope lifted her spirit. The galaxy might be vast and wild. Yet, within its darkness, light flickered. The Thrakari blinked once more. A tear traced a slow path down its face. In that tear, she saw the first sign of change. The apex predator cried. The future felt uncertain but alive. The lab grew quiet again. But in the silence, a story whispered. A story of eyes meeting across the void. Of hearts beating in unison despite difference. Maya knew this was only the start. The start of something big. Something that could change everything. The first revelation was clear. Predators could feel. In that truth lay a fragile hope, one they would need to hold tight. For the battles ahead. For the galaxy beyond. For the unknown paths yet to walk. The tear was not just water. The conference room hummed with quiet tension. Maya sat across from Thrakgul and Gromnok. The large window showed the abyss of space behind them. Stars flickered softly, distant and cold. She replayed the last meeting. The Thrakari commander's sudden smile had felt strange. It was not a simple grin. Something deeper flickered there. Gromnok leaned forward. His eyes glinted with curiosity. He was a scientist, always searching for patterns. Maya felt a chill as she met his gaze. Suddenly, Thrakgul's voice cut through the silence. "You humans have a unique trait," he said. "One that every apex predator recognizes." Maya's heart skipped. This was what she had suspected but never fully understood. "What do you mean?" she asked. Thrakgul's smile widened, but it was different now. More thoughtful, almost sad. "Your eyes," he said softly. "They tell a story. A story all predators feel inside." Maya studied his face. The sharp teeth, the dark skin, the fierce eyes, all signs of his species' strength. Yet his expression held a strange gentleness. Gromnok added, "Our scans show your eyes contain a unique pattern. It triggers something ancient in us. Something hard to explain." Maya tried to keep calm. She thought about the soldiers back on her ship. The way the Thrakari had hesitated when they saw him. There was recognition there, maybe even respect. Meanwhile, the room's air smelled faintly of recycled oxygen and metal. The hum of the ship surrounded them. Outside, stars kept blinking in silent rhythm. Thrakgul stood and paced slowly. "Predators," he began, "live by instincts, by hunting and surviving. But humans, your eyes speak of more. Of hope." Maya felt a sudden wave of emotion. She remembered the soldiers lost during the last battle. The tears she had held back in the quiet hours. Could the Thrakari sense that too? She looked at Gromnok. "How can your species sense something so personal? It seems impossible." Gromnok's antenna twitched in thought. "It's not simple biology. A connection we never expected. Our instincts recognize the depth behind your gaze." Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. No time for philosophical talks anymore. Thrakgul snapped to attention. "What is it?" Maya demanded. An unidentified vessel approached. Gromnok replied quickly. "Possible threat." The room shook lightly as the ship maneuvered. Outside, the stars blurred as the ship turned. Were the Thrakari already on edge? She stood, steadying herself. "Prepare the defense grid," she ordered. "We don't know what they want." Meanwhile, the tension tightened. The ship's sensors scanned the dark void. An unknown shape emerged on the screen. It was large and heavy. Maya's eyes locked on the image. A cold shiver went down her spine. The shape was familiar. Thrakgul frowned. "This presence," he muttered, "is another apex predator." Maya bit her lip. "Like us?" He nodded slowly. "Yes." "But older, more savage. They do not recognize the connection we share." The tension in the room thickened. Maya felt the weight of history pressing down. The galaxy was bigger and more dangerous than she had imagined. Suddenly, a thought struck her. Could this be why the Thrakari trust us more than others? Because we reflect something lost in older predators? Gromnok's eyes sparkled. "Exactly. You carry a spark they forgot." Maya felt a strange pride mixed with fear. The galaxy was a jungle. Apex predators ruled the wild. But humans held a secret in their eyes. Outside, the unknown ship charged closer. The red glow from their weapons touched the darkness. The standoff was imminent. Thrakgul raised his clawed hand. "Prepare to communicate. They will not listen easily." Maya nodded. The strange bond with the Thrakari had changed everything. But she knew the real test was just beginning. Meanwhile, the ship's bridge buzzed with activity. Marcus stood ready, his rifle steady. No words passed between them. Maya's gaze returned to the screen. The unknown vessel pulsed with menace. The predator was ready to strike. Suddenly, the alien ship sent a pulse wave. The shields flickered weakly. The attack was precise, almost deliberate. "We must respond," Maya said firmly. "Show them our strength, but hold back on destruction." Thrakgul grunted. "You understand the delicate balance. That is rare." Maya felt the weight of command settle on her shoulders. The galaxy's apex predators were watching, and she carried their secret in her eyes. The seconds stretched out. The standoff held like a breath suspended. The unknown predator waited, circling like a wolf. Meanwhile, the ship's systems hummed steadily. The crew worked silently, tuned to the rising tension. The air was thick with expectation. Maya thought of the earlier revelation. The predators recognized something human, something ancient and powerful. Suddenly, a flash of light burst from the other ship. Missiles launched, streaking across the void. Marcus dove for cover, his eyes sharp and ready. Maya shouted orders.
Countermeasures!
Evade and return fire! The ship rocked violently as explosions lit the dark. Alerts screamed in every corner. Despite the chaos, Maya's mind stayed clear. The second revelation had changed the game. The predators did not just see strength. Thrakgul fought alongside her, his claws slashing through the enemy's shields. Gromnok monitored the sensors, calculating every move. Together, they formed an uneasy alliance, a bond forged not just in war but in understanding. Suddenly, the enemy ship faltered. Maya seized the moment. "Send a boarding party," she ordered. "We need answers." Marcus nodded, his face grim but determined. The predators may be ruthless, but they were not without reason. The boarding craft launched, cutting through the void like a swift shadow. Meanwhile, Maya sat back, her eyes heavy with thought. The predators' minds were complex. Behind their smiles and snarls lay layers of emotion. She blinked away a tear. It was strange, almost absurd. The apex predator that cries at movies. But now she understood. The predator's mind, the jungle air hung thick around the camp. Shadows stretched long under the twin moons as the evening breeze stirred the leaves. The fire crackled softly, sending sparks into the dark sky. Maya sat close to the flames, her eyes fixed on the flickering light. The others kept their voices low. The night held secrets. Thrakgul leaned against a tree, muscles tense but calm. He watched Maya with a strange mixture of curiosity and respect. Gromnok fiddled with his datapad, murmuring calculations to himself. Marcus stood a little apart, alert and ready. This mission had changed them all. Suddenly, a soft whimper broke the quiet. It came from the edge of the clearing. Maya's head snapped up. The sound was faint but distinct. It was not an animal, more like a cry, a human cry. Maya moved toward the sound without hesitation. Her footsteps were light but sure on the leaf-covered ground. The others followed, wary. When they pushed through the thick bushes, they found a small figure curled on the forest floor. A young girl, no older than 10. Her eyes glistened with tears. The girl looked up, startled by the sudden company. She wiped her face with a dirty sleeve. Maya knelt beside her, speaking softly. The girl's sobs slowed, her breathing steadied. She seemed safe but shaken. Thrakgul stepped forward, scanning the area. His instincts screamed danger. Apex predators were hunters by nature. But this cry was different. It was not a call to the hunt, a signal of vulnerability. Marcus crouched nearby, eyes sharp. He noticed faint footprints leading away from the girl. Something had chased her. The forest was no place for a child alone. Maya lifted the girl gently, feeling the tiny frame tremble against her. The child's tears soaked into Maya's armor. The warmth of her touch seemed to calm the girl further. The firelight caught the shine in the girl's eyes. They mirrored Maya's own. A sudden rustle made them all freeze. Shadows moved between the trees. Not one, but many shapes. The apex predators of the jungle closed in. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark, sharp claws scraping bark. Thrakgul raised his weapon slowly. Gromnok readied his scanner. Marcus took a defensive stance. Maya held the child close. The predators did not rush. They circled, watching. Then, something unexpected happened. One of the predators stepped forward. Its eyes locked with Maya's. A flicker of something ancient crossed its face. Maya felt a strange warmth spread through her chest. The predator lowered its head slightly, a silent gesture of peace. One by one, the hunters relaxed. Their bodies moved with less tension. The threat seemed to vanish. The girl clung to Maya, her sobs now quiet. The predators did not move closer, but they stayed nearby, eyes watchful but calm. The jungle seemed to breathe differently. The tension lifted like morning mist. Maya looked at Thrakgul, eyes wide. They know me, she thought. Or something in me. The realization settled deep inside. This was more than a simple test, more than a survival story. Gromnok adjusted his glasses. Their behavior is unprecedented, he whispered. They respond to the human presence differently than to theirs. The curiosity in his voice cut through the night's stillness. Suddenly, a soft sound came from the girl. A small, choked laugh. Maya smiled, relief washing over her. The child's fear was fading. The predator's strange acceptance created a fragile peace. A moment caught between worlds. The night stretched on. Fireflies danced in the dark, weaving patterns of light. The jungle's usual chorus softened. Birds settled into nests. Even the wind seemed to pause. The camp felt alive with unspoken understanding. Why did the predators recognize humans this way? Or something deeper, buried in the stars? The question hung heavy, unanswered. Meanwhile, Thrakgul paced near the fire. His thoughts churned like storm clouds. The pride of a hunter battled with a new respect. These humans held a secret, one that shook the foundation of his beliefs. The apex predator was not always supreme. Marcus cleaned his rifle slowly. His gaze drifted to Maya and the girl. He saw the old strength beneath her kindness. A strength born from pain and hope. The kind that could change everything. The girl's tears had stopped. Her breathing was steady now. Maya whispered promises she barely understood herself. Safety, home, a new family. The jungle held dangers, but here, for this moment, there was solace. Suddenly, a distant roar shattered the silence. A rival predator challenged their peace. The younger hunters tensed, growling low. The circle tightened again. Danger returned with sharp claws and fierce cries. Maya stood firm, holding the girl close. She met the challenge head-on. The predators hesitated, then parted like waves. Respect, not fear, kept the peace. The jungle belonged to the hunt, but this night it also belonged to trust. The stars wheeled overhead in endless dance. Maya felt the weight of centuries in that moment. The cry, the human cry, had broken the endless hunt. It had opened a door no predator dared close. The girl's eyes met Maya's once more. A silent bond passed between them. Fear and hope, predator and prey, human and alien, woven together by a simple, ancient truth. The cry that breaks the hunt. Maya held the child close as the night deepened. The jungle whispered around them. The apex predators watched, no longer just hunters. They were witnesses to something new. And Maya knew this was only the beginning. The chamber hummed with low energy as Maya stepped forward. Lights flickered along the walls, casting sharp shadows. The air smelled faintly of metal and ozone. Outside, the storm raged like a wild beast. Rain lashed the windows in heavy sheets. Thunder rolled deep, shaking the hull. Thrakgul stood tall, his dark scales gleaming under the harsh lights. His eyes locked onto Maya's, sharp and unreadable. Gromnok hovered nearby, his many legs clicking softly on the floor. He carried strange devices, blinking with soft green lights. Maya held her ground. Her heart pounded, yet she felt calm. She knew this moment would change everything. The truth about humans and apex predators would finally come out. The paradox would be revealed. Suddenly, Thrakgul moved forward. His voice rumbled deep in his throat. It was both a challenge and a question. Why do your eyes speak to us? Why do they calm the fury inside? Maya did not answer with words. Instead, she met his gaze steadily. The room fell silent except for the storm. It felt like time slowed, waiting. In that pause, Marcus Pike stepped beside Maya. His grip tightened on his rifle, but his face showed no fear now. He had seen the strange peace Maya's eyes brought. Meanwhile, Gromnok raised a device to scan Maya's eyes. It projected beams of light that danced like fireflies. Data streamed rapidly. His eyes widened in surprise. The patterns in her iris matched none recorded before. They carried echoes of ancient memories. Your eyes hold the key, Gromnok whispered. They carry a language older than any spoken. Maya blinked slowly. She felt something stirring deep inside. A memory, not hers but somehow shared. Something wild and primal. Thrakgul's eyes softened just a bit. He lowered his stance slightly as if inviting trust. "Show us," he said simply. She reached into a small pouch and pulled out a holo projector. She activated it, releasing a glowing image into the air. It showed scenes of Earth's wild places. Forests dense with life, rivers rushing with power, animals stalking silently through shadows. The images shifted to humans now. Not soldiers or cities, but hunters. Nomads moving with the rhythms of nature. Eyes alert, bodies ready. The projector pulsed with light each time it showed a close-up of a human eye. "Look," Maya said quietly. "What carry the spirit of the hunt inside us? The same hunger and caution apex predators do. That is why you see yourselves in us." The chamber grew warmer, as if the story heated the air. Thrakgul's tail flicked slowly, a sign of deep thought. Gromnok's many eyes blinked in unison. They absorbed every detail. Suddenly, alarms sounded. The outer bulkheads shook violently. The enemy fleet had found them. Marcus cursed under his breath. He raised his rifle, ready to defend. Maya felt the weight of choice. Fight now or finish the truth. Thrakgul stepped closer. His voice was firm. "One must understand this before war claims us all." Maya reached out her hand. Thrakgul hesitated, then grasped it firmly. The connection felt electric, like two predators sharing a secret. Outside, the storm intensified. Lightning flashed, illuminating the faces of the alien crew. They watched, waiting for what would come next. Maya took a deep breath. "There is more," she said. "Our eyes also show our emotions. That is why apex predators sense us. But we are also vulnerable." The chamber walls seemed to pulse with life. The aliens shifted uneasily. This was new territory. Gromnok stepped forward. He placed his many hands on a console. He traced lines back through time, through memories stored in genes. "This explains the paradox," he said slowly. "You are the only species to combine the apex predator's instinct with deep, emotional expression." Maya felt tears prick her eyelids. She blinked hard, but she did not turn away. Her eyes shone with quiet strength. Thrakgul lowered his head respectfully. "You are not just prey, nor just hunter. This is why we hesitate to fight you. Your eyes reveal your soul." Suddenly, the ship shuddered again. Explosions rocked the hull. Marcus barked orders. The crew rushed to battle stations. Maya held Thrakgul's gaze one last time. "Let this truth bring peace," she said. "Not war." The alien commander nodded once. Slowly, he stepped back. The tension in the room eased slightly. Outside, the enemy fleet closed in, but within the chamber, something had shifted. A fragile understanding blossomed. Maya felt hope bloom inside her chest. This was the moment she had fought for. The moment when hunter met hunter and found kinship. The storm outside raged on, but inside the ship a new calm settled. The predator's paradox was no longer a mystery. Maya turned to Marcus. His face was grim but proud. Together, they prepared to face the coming battle. But they did so with a secret weapon: understanding. The creatures around them no longer saw just a human enemy. They saw a reflection of themselves, and that made all the difference. The air was thick with tension. Outside the window, stars blinked cold and distant. The conference room held a heavy silence. Maya Patel sat still, her hands folded on the table. Thrakgul paced slowly, his claws clicking on the metal floor. The moment felt like a turning point. The fate of two species hung in the balance. Maya's heart beat steadily, but her mind raced. Would the Thrakari accept the truth she brought? Would the galaxy ever know peace? Suddenly, Gromnok, the alien scientist, spoke. His voice was calm but firm. He said something about the shared history hidden in DNA, about the primal spark shining in human eyes. The room leaned in, caught by his words. Maya watched Thrakgul's eyes narrow. He seemed to weigh every word. Then, unexpectedly, the alien commander stopped pacing. He looked directly at Maya. The usual coldness in his gaze softened just a bit. Meanwhile, the ship hummed quietly. The faint scent of recycled air mixed with the metallic taste of the room. Outside, the vastness of space stretched endlessly. Yet inside, something small but powerful shifted. Thrakgul spoke again. His voice held respect now. He admitted that humans might be more than just another species. They carried the spirit of apex predators long lost in the stars. The recognition in their eyes was undeniable. Maya felt a spark of hope. The fear and suspicion that ruled before gave way to cautious trust. It was a fragile moment, the beginning of something new. Gromnok added that this genetic link explained the strange behavior of predators. Their instincts softened around humans. The silent calls of kinship echoed through generations. This was no accident. It was a bond deep and ancient. Outside, the stars seemed to pulse gently. The ship's lights dimmed, casting soft shadows on the walls. The quiet settled like a blanket. The weight of conflict lifted just a little. Suddenly, Thrakgul extended a clawed hand. It was a gesture of alliance. Maya reached out too. Their hands met in the middle. A simple act, but full of meaning. The room shifted from hostility to hope. The barrier between species started to crumble. The apex predators had found their kin in humans, and humans saw the same fierce spirit reflected back. Meanwhile, Marcus Pike stood near the door. He watched the scene, his expression unreadable. He felt the tension ease too. The long fight might be over. The future seemed uncertain, but promising. Maya took a deep breath. She felt the weight of her role settle on her shoulders. But she also felt the thrill of change. The galaxy might finally understand what it meant to be a predator with a heart. The silence stretched a moment longer. Then, the ship's intercom crackled to life. It was the captain calling everyone to prepare for departure. The meeting had ended. The alliance was born. Outside the window, the stars shone brighter. The vast darkness seemed less cold. A new chapter was beginning, one built on trust, not fear. Maya stood and looked at Thrakgul again. His eyes held a new light. It was respect and something deeper. A silent promise to walk together, despite their differences. The crew gathered, ready to move forward. The peaceful alliance meant new challenges ahead. But it also meant hope, the kind that could change everything. Suddenly, the ship's engines rumbled to life. The quiet was replaced by steady vibrations. The stars outside blurred as the ship jumped to faster speed. They were leaving the past behind. Maya felt a tear roll down her cheek. The apex predator that cried at movies understood something important now. The galaxy was vast and wild, but it could also be home. For humans and Thrakari alike. For all who carried the predator's heart. The alliance would grow. Trust would build slowly. But the path was clear. Together, they could face whatever came next. The ship moved steadily through the void. Maya looked forward, eyes bright. The future waited quietly, ready to be shaped by those brave enough to try. And in that moment, the apex predator finally felt understood. The predator that cried at movies had found its family,